So Tim's not joining us today.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
Nope, no Tim today. This is a Tim-free,
I was gonna say
Tim-free show for once.
I thought that would have helped out with the whole. Well, we could go over news because there's been a lot of comic news this week, like a lot more than what I was expecting.
The only thing I know of is the thing I sent you this week, but unless I missed some stuff, but I've also been very busy. First and foremost, though, hi Thursday Warriors, what's up? Welcome to the Toddcast. Jon and Justin hanging out this week, having fun, doing the thing.
Still pretty exhausted, to be honest with you.
Dude, you're not wrong. So as you guys know, we went to Baltimore Comic-Con last weekend after I went to the Diamond Summit, and it's a beast. Like, that show is extremely huge. It is extremely fun. It's a lot of great there's just a lot of great stuff to do. It's a lot of fun. We'll go over what we picked up a little later in the show because we didn't really read a lot of comics this week. But I want to show you some stuff that I picked up post-show. Just because
if I know we were going to show off, I would have started doing my stuff too.
Oh, dude, I have like a whole pile to show off. So this is my post-show pile of stuff that I happened to pick up in the store that just has come through. So first, boom. First Captain Cold and Heat Wave. Yeah. Flash 140. Very cool. Very beat up. Very, very beat up. And
I was gonna say, yeah, that's chippy.
Don't even care. Like, the top corner is missing. It's great. Then some real minor stuff. So this is Doom Patrol 19, right? Yeah, 19. First Crazy Jane, right? And then this is Doom Patrol 35 and 36, which is first appearance Flex Metallo, and then first full appearance Flex Metallo. And I love the cover because it's like this crazy Alan Moore on the cover that I love so much. And I don't know if they did that on purpose because it's been a while, but that was Simon Bisley that did that cover. So, but those were my pickups in store this week. Kind of fun. And now we'll go through oh yeah, shit. I guess we should tell everybody about the sales coming up first. Holy crap. This week, see, we're tired. This is gonna be awful. It's gonna be like the worst show on the planet.
We're gonna be a little rusty, folks. That's all.
Still holding the most mediocre comic podcast in Pittsburgh anchor.
We were
holding
getting
the flag.
We were getting above average, but I think the week off plus tired from a con, I think that kind of lowered it back down a little bit.
Agreed. The Saturday before Thanksgiving is Hunker Down for the Holidays. So this week, this sale is 10% off of graphic novels, 10% off comic storage, comic supplies, so bags, boards, boxes. This does include the license boxes, so if you're into that, that's cool too. And then it does also include the Ultra Pro black plastic boxes that I still need to pick one of those up, probably Saturday. And then the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is local comic shop day, which is like a thing that Comics Pro puts together. So we'll have some local comic shop day variants for you guys to check out. They're pretty cool. They'll be limited per store, so make sure you check it out. And if you want to pre-order one, you may want to talk to the stores to see what they can do for you. And then obviously Black Friday is a big deal. At least that's what I hear. And we're just repeating what we did last year with 20% off if you buy $50 or more. It excludes the 50/50 sale. It excludes dollar books because dollar books are half price starting Black Friday, or they're actually half price on Hunker Down Day, but they're half price the entire rest of the year at all locations. So make sure you come out for that. There will be exclusions per store, so make sure you talk to your local NDC to find out what is excluded and what is not. So, yay fun! I think that's it, right?
I
miss
think
anything?
I think that's about right.
Good God, there's so much. There's like a Magic release, and then a Pokemon release, like the next 2 weeks. Like, there's just so much shit going on. And then if you want to go up and check out our friends up in Akron, go up there. They're having a con this weekend, Akron Comic Con. We might be there on Sunday just hanging out. And it'll be very short-lived if we are there, because I've realized I forgot I have something to do. So Justin and I may literally make an appearance for like 2 hours. We just need to debate on whether or not it's worth it. So, okay. Time to talk comics for this week, I guess. So did you end up reading anything at all?
I read Metal Shark Bros.
Nice.
That counts.
That'll count. We'll count. Okay.
I know it's not a current anything like currently out.
It is.
It did. I have to say this, like a quick, like you guys probably already reviewed it, I'm sure. Like before,
a long time ago. Yeah.
Well, I got the trade paperback because we talked to the writer.
Kevin.
Kevin ran into some of the other dudes there briefly outside while we were at
Bob.
Baltimore.
Yep.
So they all seem pretty cool. It did remind me of Murder Falcon a little bit. Just I think the aesthetic. The aesthetic reminded me very much of Murder Falcon, but that was it.
It's because they're both very metal.
Yes. As a metal guy, it's like there were signature stuff there. I got it. Cool. But other than that, it is nothing like an actual, like story-wise has nothing to do with like Murder Falcon, where you're kind of sad. It actually gives kind of a sweet ending, where this is just fun and goofy and gory as hell. That's the best review. Like, this is, if you're gonna read a comic that is just for shits and giggles, just fun, no moral like story, this is kind of sweet and blah, blah. There's none of that shit in this. This is just ridiculousness to the highest order. I was down for it. I chuckled. My wife read a couple
of pages.
It is
hilarious, right?
My wife, kind of passed by. She's looking at her like, what the fuck? And she starts reading. She just starts laughing because she has about the same sense humor as I do. So she's like, she's like, these guys nuts. I was like, it seems like it. So
they're not nuts, but they were a lot of fun.
Yeah. Nuts in a positive way.
I mean, they're nuts because Kevin and I are like two of the only people that like the John Bush era of Anthrax slightly better than the first iteration of Joey Belladonna.
Anthrax is Anthrax to me. I'm an equal lover of all Anthrax. So.
I love it. I do love it all, but it's just funny that he and I both like that because a lot of people don't. So,
but,
all right.
That was my reading thing. If I knew we were going to show off stuff, I would have showed off some of the signatures I got and everything from Baltimore. So I do apologize. I wasn't ready.
While I'm going through some stuff, you could run and grab stuff if you have it handy. Did you file it all?
I started filing. That's the thing. When I start filing, I'm like, woof.
Yep.
But I do have a pile. I think I do have a pile of some of them now. So I will.
Okay. All right.
I will be back as you are describing.
Let me do these two new books then. If you wanna
Sure.
go and do it.
Sure,
it's not going to be long though because these were both very shorts. So
okay.
Just
Well,
letting you know.
it should not take me long because I know where
If
the
not,
pile is.
if not, I'll just start diving in on my end of things. It'll be fine. So,
Okay, cool.
okay, go do your thing. All right, my first new book is The Ones by Brian Michael Bendis. This book is weird because it's kind of like almost like the show Heroes, but with a little bit of like, I don't know, like Young Avengers kind of thing, because like one dude is collecting all of these people and they all have powers and they're all there to kill a baby who is the Antichrist. So it's just weird that they put it together like that. I kind of dig it though. The art was not as awesome as I hope it would be from Jacob Egger, but it did work for the story. But it had a lot of cool little things, like it was a little bit Buffy, it was a little bit Avengers, it was a little bit just like I don't even know what the other way to put it would be, but it did work out pretty well. And because it's a big cast, it worked out very Bendis-y, so I dug it. My second book is American Jesus by Revelation by Mark Miller and Peter Cross. So this was kind of interesting too, because it's like it talks a lot about how Lucifer got kicked out of heaven, and then God sent his daughter this time, and how all these politicians are basically Satan. Like they watch the plane wreck into the Twin Towers and they celebrate. They
That sounds
kind of
very
like,
much like you feel like that's the way the real life politicians and
yeah,
our current
yeah.
our current
There's
institution
definitely,
feels like.
well, but they paint it in a broader thing where you can't tell if it's the right or the left. It's basically just saying politics in general are like that.
Okay.
So because they worship the president like Jesus, and
Oh, gee.
yeah,
Oh, that
but
really hits home now.
but I'm pretty sure in this he's actually the Antichrist.
Okay.
So, and
Well,
then because the second coming of Christ is a woman in this one, and she's a
okay.
black woman. So I'm waiting for people to like go completely apeshit over this and
Oh,
flip
I'm
out
sure.
and
Oh, yeah.
call it the most woke thing on the planet when it's really not. It's just someone telling a story.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. And definitely checking out the artwork for it a lot more than the other one I talked about. All right. Time to talk about Baltimore. Oh my
All
god, I'm
right.
so tired. I'm still so worn out that I'm
You
freaking,
didn't show off your big
ugh.
piece. I was
Not
surprised you
yet.
didn't show.
I didn't get to that yet. I just went over the new week's books. Calm down there, Chief. We got time.
Okay.
time.
Well, let's see. Should I show off some stuff
me-
since you got to show off stuff?
Let me try to do this in like an order.
Well, actually, I want to show off one book that was not from Baltimore, but was from the previous con, the
Okay.
Pittsburgh show that I did get. And
Cool, go for it.
I showed you, you know this, you saw
Yeah.
this, but
I
those
was
in the
there.
audience that, in the audience, I got these Tales to Astonish number 36. This is the second appearance of Ant-Man in costume. It's the costume appearance. This is the third Hank Pym, and it's rough. It's a rough copy. There's no doubt, but to be fair, as much as this is like you can see the chewing on the end and everything here,
Right.
The colors are nice. This solid, which is really odd. Usually that's the first thing to go in these the Tales to Astonish is the colors either mesh together and it looks like a blob or they fade out. It's like one or the other. The hands, the costume, even the Browns are really solid in this, so that's why I picked it up. So I was happy with that.
Okay.
So this is from the Pittsburgh show. From what was it?
Right.
That was
Pittsburgh comic
2
book
weeks
show.
ago.
Yeah.
2
Yep.
weeks ago.
Guys from Pop
Yes.
Culture that put it on. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yes. Yeah,
All right.
so that's cool.
So I went down first for the Diamond Retailer Summit, which was interesting this year because Marvel and DC were not at the summit, and usually they are. But since Diamond isn't carrying them anymore, is not their primary distributors, they are not there anymore. So it's kind of a cool, interesting like story, like kind of just like it's almost like a family reunion of just like people. We all had the same complaints, so everybody didn't talk about them because everybody already had the same complaints. But it was awesome. There's like a little mini show for everybody. I didn't get in line for the print signed by Frank Miller, mostly because like I'm not a huge Frank Miller guy. And the line was like stupid long. And by the time like we were like, all right, we're gonna take our stuff, throw it back in the hotel room, come back, and we'll just get in line then. By the time I got back, they cut the line. We were like, no.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of the news that you saw kick out from like Frank Miller and IDW and Dark Horse and Image and a bunch of other places like Aftershock, all that stuff like was all released at the dinners and stuff.
Okay.
So they do this little mini thing, and at the mini thing, I got this awesome Chicken Devil variant, which I'm super excited for because I love Chicken Devil from Aftershock.
No, Chicken Devil. Who does that? For those
Brian
who don't know.
Boccoletto
Okay.
and Mattia Monaco are the creative team, and it's put out by Aftershock. It is freaking awesome. Basically like a bunch of crime fighting people that wear giant chicken devil hat like gear.
Okay.
Because they worked at a restaurant that was a chicken devil.
Okay.
It's very cool. I love it. Love it a lot. So then you showed up Friday mid show.
Yes.
So I got to kind of
mid Friday show.
Yeah, well, mid Friday day, I should say.
Which can I give a shout out to Amtrak? You guys suck with on time. Holy hell. It pushed back an hour.
Yeah.
So,
but it was comfortable, right? But it was comfortable.
I had some dude coughing on me, so I don't know how comfortable.
Okay,
that
so
feels.
Uncomfortable. So Thursday night I went to dinner with Howard Chaykin and a couple people, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm very grateful. Thank you, Howard, again for inviting me. That was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. But I got to hang out with Dean Haspiel, Riley Brown, Ed, Jim, Vito, and so after that I went to the bar to hang out with Vito a little bit because I hadn't seen him in a little bit. And while we're there, Mark and Shelley, who run and own Baltimore Comic Con, are there, and I hung out with their kid Reese last year this year at Heroes Con, and they told me that he was going to be doing commissions this year at their show.
Nice.
So then I'm like, well, what's he doing? Like, do I have like only specifics? Like, how tight's he getting? And they said he's only doing Kirby, Mario, and Pokemon. And I was like, well, will they do a mashup? And they checked. He's like, yeah. I said, cool. I want Kirby riding a Yoshi, eating a Pikachu. And 20 minutes later, I get this on a picture of this ready to roll. So this is Reese Nathan, first commission of the year, or at that show, 1 of 1. Had him sign and date it for me, and it was a good time.
When he takes over for Kevin Feige and Marvel, well, you can say I knew him when.
Right?
So.
And then so while we're on art, let's do art first to get that out of the way. So I got two more pieces. This was a warm-up piece from Russ Braun, of Terror, because I fucking love Terror. And he had done that Sunday morning to just warm up his stuff. And then my big piece, which I don't know if everyone's going to be able to see that very well, but
It looks fun.
okay. That is the cover sketch, the pencils for Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps 28. It also comes with the other pieces that make the green hollow over him. But those are behind that. And I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for it because my wife's downstairs so she can hear me.
I know how much you paid for it.
Right. Let's just say it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't terribly expensive. But it was a lot of fun
nowadays.
Yeah, but it was from Barry Kitson, who I love. And I had a lot of fun with it. So, excellent. All right, what'd you get art wise? Do you have it sitting there?
I also got I already have that put away, and I have it in a protector, so I'm not bringing it out. I also got a Barry Kitson page. I got it from his Azrael run from the 90s, and it is basically the page where Azrael is incognito with a beard and sunglasses, kicking a couple of dudes' asses very quickly. And someone asked him, "Where did you learn to fight like this?" And his reply is, I watch a lot of Chuck Norris movies. So
yeah, right. So you got the Chuck Norris page, which is hilarious.
It was an affordable piece. It was under $100. I'm cool with that. I got a piece of original Azrael art. Cool with me.
Yep.
Book wise, I got a couple of books here.
You can go first and then I'll go. I didn't get any like keys. I got a lot of like indie stuff.
Well, I don't think either one of these are keys, to be honest. No.
Or just cool shit. I got a lot of like indie stuff.
Well, this is from our buddy John Haynes, who we had dinner with Friday night. Very pricey dinner, but it was very good. So I cannot.
Oh, that wasn't even that bad. Trust me.
Well, pricey for a poor schmo like myself, who are
pricey for Westmoreland County, right?
Yes, very much so.
All good,
but it was good. I was cool with it. Had some calamari, had a nice burger. I was good. But he got me a deal on these two early Hulks to continue my Herb Trimpe art. Incredible Hulk run. I got 110 and 13. So 110. It's actually a really nice copy. That's a solid copy.
That looks good.
Yeah. 13 is a little faded, a little smashed up, but I don't. Again, this is one of those.
You want them to want them. You don't want them to. You don't care if they're reader copy or not.
Well,
you don't want them
to look not. I don't want them to look like someone just like took a crap on it and wiped their butt with it.
Right.
But at the same time, I do
a
like
little bit of wear is not bad. But
I'm down
be, like,
for
trashed.
Yes, like I'm one of those guys. It's like I appreciate a well-loved book to a degree, especially since these are Silver Age anyway. I'm not going to complain about Silver Age Hulk a reasonable price. Because he basically gave me this for free, so basically all I paid for is one. So I will take that deals. All day long.
All the deals.
I will take that. But that gets me a little bit closer in my little collection era there.
It's all good. So I stopped by our friend Tony Fleeks, and Trish, because they were on the show at one point with us, and I picked up Tony's ash can of Local Man that he did with Tim Seeley, and all the art is like super freaking 90s. and I love it. I didn't get to flip through it a lot, but holy shit, does it look good. And I can't wait to finish it out. Then I stopped over at the Sounds of Thunder booth, and because I saw my buddy Rafer Roberts, and who, by the way, is like half the man he used to be because he's now on the I'm not going to eat any fast food diet. Anyway, he wrote this book of theirs, Queen of Hell, with them. And I haven't flipped through it yet, but it looked awesome. I was more interested in the fact that I actually could pick up one of their CDs. So they had 3 CDs. This is the newest one. It's a 10-track metal bands CD. So I'm going to check these guys out. They are the Sound of Thunder, or A Sound of Thunder is the name of it. And this is the Crimson Cult. So you can imagine what that's about.
Maybe that could be our theme for the podcast, the booming intro theme. Get their permission, and then they'll let us use it as our.
We'll see. We'll see. I've written some pretty good shit too. It's just a matter of getting it to actually play through the computer.
Although to interject a little bit there, my wife did say we were in the car today, and Rammstein's Angle popped on, and she's like, "Oh, John's wrestling theme song." And
every time it comes on at the Elwood store, I'm like, "Oh, my theme song's on," and they're just like, "What?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys." So this is a book I'm really excited about, and I'm actually getting the regular cover, and we actually backed this as a retailer. So these are shipping out this week. It's Vito Del Sante's new Stray volume on Full Court Press. This is the Scott McDaniel cover that he used for Baltimore Comic-Con, and it's freaking awesome. The art in this book looks great. The story is great. Vito does not disappoint. And speaking of Vito, this is a book that he has been working on since 2019. Last time I drove down with him, I think it was 2018. This is if Prince would have been an alien from outer space. Like so it's called Tribute, and it's the beautiful, like the beautiful is, and like it's very interesting because it's a little bit Purple Rain, like a little bit love story, a little bit action movie. I really dig it. I'm waiting to get a little more time to read it, but oh man, the art is so good in that. And when Vito pitched that to me on the way down, it was great. Okay, almost done. So this next 4 items that I have were all from one booth, the Metal Shark Bro booth. So this was cool. It was called Art Class, and it's just a bunch of Metal Shark Bro covers like that they never got to use. The Ashley Hahn one's awesome.
I thought most of them were excellent.
Yeah,
so there are not many that I'm like meh. Most of them were like, oh, this would be awesome.
Drew Moss's is great.
I like the couple that looked like something straight out of a D&D campaign.
Hoyt, there's Hoyt's. That's awesome.
Yeah.
There were a couple of people in there. I'm like, I know this guy, and I know this guy, and I know this guy. Hold on, let me see if I can. Angela Odling did one. He's a Pittsburgher. That's this one here.
Yeah.
Very
Steven Universe.
Right.
I did enjoy the Shark Bros because we got to talk about metal bands and his the writer's career.
Yeah, it's a lot of Kevin's a good dude.
Yeah. He was fun because he's like, it's the first time someone's brought up Slaves on Dope since the 2000s, like early 2000s, and I'm like, holy hell. And
there's a cool Schmalky cover that never got used.
There we go. And And as soon as I got home, I found the demo CD with all that Divine Studios
Mm-hmm.
stuff on there. So
Yeah, there's a lot of really freaking awesome stuff in this book, and it's all just covers, and
yeah,
it's like that they couldn't get to use, that I wish they could have, because there are some in here that are like this Travis Ames one is just fucking amazing. So, and then in the back they list like everybody's social media, so in case you want to follow more.
mhm.
Then they had this ash can or Kickstarter that they kicked out, which I thought was cool. Called Get Lick or Die Trying. Get Lich or Die Trying. Sorry. So very D&D style book there.
Mhm.
And then this is the new original graphic novel he did, that I have not gotten to read yet either, but looks fantastic. When we have them on the show, we'll talk about it. But this is called The Dust Pirates, so make sure you guys check that out too.
Mhm.
And then the
also have
last
that as
thing,
well.
which I'll be wearing probably tomorrow. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I
The
saw
metal
that.
shirt
I was
version.
gonna say if I would have saw that shirt first, I probably would have skipped one of the graphic novels and just bought the shirt instead.
I might wear it on Saturday when I'm at the mills.
Okay.
Um,
Well, since I'll
so
be
I
working Saturday, I will be seeing you in that then.
yeah, so that's my whole haul.
Okay.
Other than that, I had a blast hanging out with people. And Justin and I have an awesome story about. Unless you have other shit to show off.
Yes.
Do you
Well,
have
I
other-
want to
okay.
show off some of the artists and some of the books that I got
Okay,
signed.
you do your
So
end, and then we will tell a story. Go
yes, we
for
will
it.
tell that. We will save the story for the big finale. How about that?
While you're showing off, I'm gonna run down and grab a drink of water. I'll be right
Alright.
back. I can hear you, by the way.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, since John had the nice little talk, I guess it's my turn. Now I'm a signature guy, especially as I've gotten older. Kind of realized that some of these artists and creators that we love are passing away. We did get to talk to the Neil Adams daughters. That could be part of our story later, but hearing them, how suddenly he left us, it's I especially certain books that I got signed here. Some of these creators getting a little older, and life does go on. So I think I will save the coup de grace for last here. I'll show off the couple of artists that I was thoroughly impressed with that happened to be there. And I will make one comment there. The layout for Baltimore is good, but I felt like some of the artists, especially that have worked on major books, very sparse. Not a lot of activity. Even some of the legends were not as liney as some were. I know Walt Simonson, he's the one I do regret. I did not get his signature. Unfortunately, time constraints and sitting in line, it was not going to happen. But I did get a couple of books signed. These are not all of them. I did get like a couple others signed. I just couldn't find them in the pile. So first one is I'm a big Batman Beyond fan. So not the last limited series, but the last current run of Batman Beyond is I got Sean Chen to sign this variant cover. The variant cover for this last like Batman Beyond was excellent. The B covers were way better than the A covers most of the time. But I found he was kind of very much by himself, which very unfortunate. But I did have a good conversation with him. He said he was waiting to work on Batman Beyond and how excited he was for it. I told him I appreciated his art. We the next one, I got one of I would call her she's definitely kind of on her way to legendary. I got Jill Thompson.
I'd say she's legendary.
I was gonna say she's coming up there. It's I got the Death Gallery #1. I got her to signature on this. There was another creator on this book, but he was never at his booth, so I didn't get his.
Who was that?
Bradley Conley.
Okay.
We went to his booth and that dude was like, yeah, he's not here. I think I saw him for like 5 minutes on Sunday, but I was so focused on Walt that I was like, I was like, I'd rather have Walt than him. But got her. We had a very interesting conversation with her about Maria Wolf, about how.
And by interesting, we mean funny.
Yes, yes.
It was. We told her about her misadventures in Pittsburgh.
Yes,
and she was like, "Yep, that sounds like Maria." And we thanked her a lot for, teaching Maria everything.
Yes.
So it was a good time.
For those who are a big fan of the Amalgam universe, I went through and I got my Doctor Strange Fate signed by Ron Martz and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Nice.
And I tell you what, Jose was a very nice man, although my Spanish is awful. So, but his, I think it was his son beside him, spoke very good English. So the translation, hopefully the language barrier was like good. I did show this to Ron and Ron looked at him and he's like, are you sure you just want this signed? Because he's like, you don't have any Witchblade stuff? He asked me and I'm like, actually, I was like, I left my Witchblade stuff at home. I was like, I like unique stuff signed. Doesn't have to be like the thing that they're known for.
Right.
So I was happy with that. And the last one, and this book has a story beside it. This is a Captain America meets the asthma monster. And for those who don't know what this book is, this was a book given to kids in doctors' offices and in hospitals. As a child, I had very bad asthma. Actually, COVID kind of kicked it up a little bit. So I have had some breathing issues since COVID. But I'm getting my lungs built back up again. Long process, but I've had this book before, but I've had like 3 versions of this. Apparently there is a sequel to this, so now that gives me something to kind of hunt for, because I got to
really
yes, there would. I talked to who's answer. I talked to Alex Sevick, who is he was the penciler for this. He was right beside Howard Mackey, who was the editor for this book, but he wrote the sequel one. So now I have to find the sequel.
You're right. It is called Return of the Asthma Monster.
Yep. And I got Howard to sign it. Howard Mackey signed it. I got Alex Sevick to sign it. I got Louise Simonson. That's Walter's wife, for those who don't know. Her line was very short, but she is also known to be one of the legendary writers of several key books. And I also got Al Milgram because he did the cover and he was there and he looked at this and he's like, did I do this? Well, if you see right here, I was like, well, sir, if that's your AM, and he's like, that is my AM. Okay, I did do this. He's like, okay. But
That's hilarious.
Alex and Howard chuckled when I brought this up to them
Yeah.
because they're known for being in Spider-Man, doing Spider-Man, and they're like, we didn't do a lot of Cap, and but they described it how this came about of we wanted something for the kids that don't get to go to comic book stores
Mm,
and things of that nature. And I told him, I was like, this is like one of those books. This is probably the book that got me into comics. And I had wonderful conversations with both gentlemen. Louise was very busy, so I didn't like go totally into detail. Um, but everybody that was involved in this book, the majority of them, I was thrilled to meet every one of these people that helped me get into this hobby of ours that actually has turned into my career now. So it's kind
right.
of Alex is like, you sure you don't want to get out? And I'm like, well, I was like, I kind of quit my other job to do this. So kind of doing it now. He's like, oh, you're young enough. You could start over again. And I'm like, yeah, but I kind of don't want to. And he's like, okay, then stick with what you're doing then.
That's
So
awesome.
it's an awesome experience that even at my middle age, I got to be a kid again and meet some of these wonderful creators. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's my little mini haul there. I think I spent some money there buying stuff, but I think I gave more money to the Heroes Initiative for all these autographs
That's awesome.
than anything else.
As you should. Heroes Initiative is a way to go, man. Every time. So no, that's awesome. Those are some really bitchin' books too. So good job. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't take anything with me this year because I meant to, and then I just didn't have any time to dig stuff up. Um, so, but I think I walked away with some pretty good shit.
Yeah, you got some stuff.
I mean, my art collection is growing. That's the first cover page I've ever bought.
There you go.
So, yeah, and it was a Green Lantern. So there you go.
Of course it had to
Right?
be a
It
Green
had to
Lantern.
be. It had to be either Green Lantern, Iron Man, or probably like Hawkeye, maybe.
Well, I
But
imagine getting a Hawkeye cover would probably be slightly easier than anything
yeah,
else.
maybe. But he only had those two minis. Like I meant like those ones. Like I'd want those.
Well, what about
So
West Coast Avenger art? If you're going to go
I'd
that
be okay
route,
with that. So
because he was
all
a
right.
big part of that. So,
Okay, so we got to get to our story so we can get to nerd news.
okay.
Um, which because that reminded me of nerd news. And I really would like to keep this through to an hour long show this week, please. I don't mean that. I do mean that. I don't mean that. So the two stories. So the first one is that we saw the Adams sisters, right? Neil Adams' daughters, to give them our condolences and our sympathy, and to hear them tell the story of his last day was very shocking,
Very
intriguing,
eye-opening.
and very, very much so like the unexpected. Like it really puts life into perspective of you really never know what's going to go on, right? So in that I told them my story from New York, where I met Neil in the restroom, and they laughed their asses off, and at the end they said, that's the craziest thing, the best story we've heard yet, and that definitely sounded like Dad. And it was very nice to bring a smile to their face, to share some stories, and I really appreciate hearing them. I also was very interested in buying like a piece of art that's like my entire salary for a year, but
Mm.
that did not work out, nor did trying to get Todd to buy it for me work out. I tried. He said no. I was like,
Yeah,
it's only going to go up, man. It's like an investment. And he
it
said no.
is.
He said no.
It's
So,
it's like buying that blue chip stock, and it's like, you know, it's not gonna,
right, right.
but
So
they did like us, so you might get a slight discount.
maybe, but they did say they do payment plan, which is really
That is
cool.
true.
I
You can
really
still do
enjoy
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
just
saw
it's
a
like
couple of
buying a
those.
car though.
Yes,
Like
yes.
that piece of art was more expensive than the current vehicle I own. So, and
But
it would be like
it will
it's like
last longer than that vehicle you own. I
and it
guarantee it.
well that's and it's like half of my house.
Mhm.
So no, I'm not gonna do that. So I mean I guess I could sell the house for now and pay it off and use that extra to buy that piece. But never mind. Um
Talking
so
yourself into it.
so in true awesome Baltimore experience, and I know Justin has been there before, but like I don't think you ever. I think last time when we were there, we were so exhausted by the time it got to post
Yeah.
Ringo's that it was just kind of like, oh my god, I'm gonna talk to some people and go home.
Yeah. We were
This time,
I think I started falling asleep, I think I recall last year.
yeah,
Because we were on our feet for pretty much the start
yeah,
of the day. We
yeah,
actually got sleep that Friday
yeah,
night. So we were actually had the energy to last. I think last
right.
time I'm sitting there and I'm going like this. And I think you
Yes,
even
John.
shook
Yes,
you
boss.
you
Yes.
shook me and you're like, hey man, you gotta mingle. I'm like, I can't form sentences.
Right. And Scott was just like, I don't know who any of these people are. I'm just here for the free booze. Um so
I think this year we did way better.
agreed. So this year, so we in lieu of going to the Ringos, so we went and had dinner, and then we went to the Sheridan. As we're hanging out in front of the Sheridan, like we just roll up. I see my buddy Dirk Wood, who Dirk used to be the sales rep for IDW. So if you guys remember the the previews, when you get to the IDW part, there'd be like a drawing of a dude with really curly hair. That was Dirk. And it would be like Dirk's monthly thing, and it would draw a little cartoon of him. So I hadn't seen him in like 5 years, so I'm talking to him, and Joe from Dynamite and Garth Ennis walk up, and Dirk knows them too. They have this look on their face, and they're like, they're just beside each other. We're like, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you guys? Garth's just like, I just saw something I can't unsee. And we're, in my brain, and eventually I say it out loud, is what in the world is going to shake the guy who creates characters like Horsecock and Arseface? Like what could do that? Like what is that deal? So we ask that exact question. The answer comes as, so in the hotel beside us, there is a fairy convention, like Fae Fairy, like Tinkerbell Fairy, right? And I said, yeah, I'm aware. And he goes, we went in there. And I went, oh God, where is this going? And he's just like, look at this video. And it's like this party that's about 30 seconds from being Ren Fair Gone Wild. And there's this guy with a really big beard, no shirt, jamming on an electric cello. He's like, look at Gandalf just rocking that cello.
To be fair, he was stacked, so it's not like it was. It's not like some dude with a dad bod. This dude had some pecs and some abs.
Oh yeah. So like we're laughing because we're trying to figure out why this is fucking with them so hard. And then we realize, oh yeah, you're Irish. And the Irish are really terrified of the Fae.
Yes.
Like, because leprechauns are evil Fae.
Yes.
They're like demon Fae.
Yeah. Actually, fairies in general to them are horrifying.
Yeah.
So to see something like this, I'm sure that would be like us seeing, I don't know, demons dancing around and stuff. You know, if I'm going to go that route.
Like a legitimate demon, like werewolves.
Yeah.
Maybe like werewolves.
Okay,
maybe like werewolves just in a big room getting ready.
I was going to make a certain political inference, but I'm going to stay away from that because we're almost done with election week, people. We're almost done.
One more week.
Please go vote.
Please go vote. I don't care who you vote for, but at least vote so then that way we can. That way, if you have an opinion, we'll at least consider it more valid because you did vote. So the whole night, every like 5 to 10 minutes, it would just be the fucking fairies.
It got worse every time he had a beer. To be fair,
so now we can also say that Garth Ennis bought Justin and I a drink, which is cool.
Very much so.
I repaid in kind, know. He was
very interested in our history of our area, which of course you handed that off to me because I could spout out this history crap that I was taught since probably elementary school. And he was fascinated because that's one of Garth's things is he's fascinated about US history and US war history. So
I thought it was cool that he said when he moved here, he made it a point that if he was going to move here and be an American, he was going to learn the history and embrace America, which I thought was a very cool thing that you don't really get to hear because I don't really know a lot of people that have immigrated,
current.
Well, I know some people that have immigrated, but not a lot of people that immigrated from like the UK. Most of the people I know that immigrated from either Canada or Mexico, or South America. Like I don't really know a lot of people from across the pond, that are actually have citizenship here. I've met people from over there, just not a lot that have citizenship.
I think anybody that I've ever known been and gone because they were one of the like OG immigrants coming from my grandparents era type deal.
Exactly. So to hear him talk about that was cool. And then we kind of went out to the balcony so he could smoke, and we ended up somehow Russ Braun showed up, and then we somehow went from calling the dude Gandalf to calling him Merlin from the Excalibur movie, and then it became the dragons for a good half hour, and then that spouted into or morphing into a conversation about the movie Alien, which lasted about an hour. And it was awesome.
I think we got into a movie thing in general because we were talking about Westerns and Clint Eastwood, which is another Garth Ennis.
Westerns, big thing.
He's big Clint Eastwood fan of the old school Westerns, which not my shtick, but I get it. It's definitely, it's an appeal. But like I said, we talked about aliens. I think you left to go do some business, and then I was sitting there still bullshitting with him a little bit. We did touch a little bit on the Predator era.
That's when I went to get my round of drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
business.
They're well, technically it's business. We're hobnobbing. We're trying to recruit for our area. Hey, come to Pittsburgh.
Right.
We have a good time, but they were like, well, what's your opinion on Alien? And Alien is not my jam. I respect it. It's like a lot of things I've gotten as I older. I'm not going to say it sucks because it doesn't. it is an awesome series in innovation for special effects, and I can appreciate that. But I'm not like hardcore. I'm buying all these xenomorph things here and there. I could no thanks.
You don't have like the xenomorph dildo just hanging out.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
It just lowers from the ceiling and just jumps on you.
Yeah,
it's right inside.
It spits out green spew. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. But I told him I was kind of more of a Predator. I liked Predator. That's what I was exposed to probably first, because it's something that I remember, especially Arnold and the epic, bro movie of all time. It has to be. It has to rank up there, top 5 bro movies.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah. Or like even the beginning when they're like they greet each other and they just like manhandle each other's arms and stuff. You just see these giant pythons steroided up 80s arms and everything, and Jesse Ventura with the friggin' Gatling guns like mowing down an entire jungle. That's the stuff that I was kind of more exposed to, and they're like, we can respect that, but they're like, well, what do you think of like them together? I was like, I don't mind the storyline so much. I just wish they wouldn't muddle it so much, where it's like director or writer.
DP has asked a question in the chat, and it is, do you like Prometheus? I asked this during this thing.
That started.
I got a lot of no. But so I think the general consensus was we liked what it did for the mythos, but the movie itself was crap.
Yeah, it's like if they just were told the story, it probably wouldn't have been so bad. I think it was a lot of those weird pauses and little drama things that we had to stick in soap opera that kind of threw everything away. It's like, this is just supposed to be like a sci-fi action movie, not. I
personally though, I feel that it is cinematically gorgeous.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes.
But there are definitely parts I'm like, wow, that was really dumb. But I do like what it did for the mythos. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we didn't get onto like nerd news. So
yeah, there was a lot of it actually. I was surprised. Like this week, the different announcements of what we got. Wonder Man announcement.
Did we get an actual actor announced?
Yes. Well, it's supposedly I forgot his name. Shoot. But
DP, that question, I'll just tell you, it lent right into a lost question, like a lost discussion for like a half hour. It was crazy. So continuing on.
Yeah, it was interesting to say the least.
Like, but they didn't officially announce anyone yet, right?
I think he's the favorite.
Right, but they haven't officially announced anyone.
No. But people are losing their shit because again,
it's a black guy.
Yeah, a black guy. Yeah. Oh, Wonder Man's white. Oh.
Yeah.
Will you guys
Wonder Man, not Wonder Bread. Come on.
It drives me up the wall. But my whole thing is like, I think one of the other YouTubes that I watched was like, well, why don't you just do a actual character that is actually African American instead of taking a character that's primary this. And
it was the dude that played Black Manta. Right.
Yeah.
And Dr. Manhattan in the TV show.
Yes. Yeah. So I have no issue if he wants to be that, because it seems like he could pull it off. But we know how this is going to go. People are going to lose their shit about it. What? Sandman season 2 finally announced.
Yes.
God. I was like,
so
geez, I think like everybody in all my little Facebooks that are Sandman fan clubs are like, thank God. And then they're like, what took you so long, Netflix? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Right. Right. I'm just super excited. I really enjoyed that show.
Yes.
And I'll be honest, I think I'm most excited to see Delirium.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we get to see them.
So when you buy the really big book like this is the first whole season in a giant graphic novel form. So go buy the second one and catch up and read it ahead of time, because Neil Gaiman already has the script. Like, he's ready to go. Like, he is not he's not waiting.
He's not screwing around. Yeah, he's not screwing around. He's not doing a George R.R. Martin on us. He is prepped and ready to go. So
right.
Let's continue that going there. What else? West Coast, a lot of West Coast Avengers.
Well, the Vision show.
Stuff. Yes, the Vision announcement, which I'm cool with. I think we all kind of wanted that. Oh yeah, we all kind of wanted that. Like, I think after we saw him in WandaVision, we're like, you can't leave us on a cliffhanger. Like, he's just out there somewhere. What's he doing? You know. So I'm glad they're continuing doing that. What else did they announce? There was a couple other things that were like well, I won't say announced. I will say there's the rumor mill.
Oh,
that they have. That's like stuff.
Yeah, I don't
popping up here.
I don't really pay attention to the rumor mill as much as I used to.
I think there's so much of it; it's hard to keep up, unfortunately. But I like to think if they're casting, that's when you start listening to, okay, this is actually going to happen, because usually casting means they're actually spending money on this. So once they start spending money, then everything starts happening.
Right.
Oh, we forgot about James Gunn is now going to be the Kevin Feige of the DCEU. Well,
that's
it's not DCEU. James Gunn said it's just going to be DC Universe.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not that bad. So
I'm okay with it. Like, I think this is going to actually help Marvel out a little bit to step up their game, because James Gunn is going to do a damn good job. I think this is going to kick Kevin in the ass and be like, well, there goes the guy who made Guardians legit. What are you going to do now, buddy? So let's see how that goes.
We'll see.
I know you're not a Guardians fan, but
so it's like I'm not really a huge Guardians guy. So,
but I respect James Gunn for doing what he did.
But I loved his Peacemaker stuff.
Yeah,
his Peacemaker
which I think that's what we're going to end up getting, is a lot of minor characters that he may bring out to light. Which, hey, if you're listening there, if you ever flipping through YouTube there, sir, more Dr. Fate and Etrigan, please.
Yes.
Although, did you watch the new Green Lantern on HBO Max?
I have not yet. Did we do a full Black Adam review? I can't remember. I can't remember if we were discussing it.
We discussed it, but we never did a review. So do you want to do a quickie review? Since
we're going to do this. Okay, 30 seconds, and then because we're wrapping up, because it's over an hour, and I'm beat. Like, I need to sleep, dude. Like, I'm so destroyed.
I get it, man. I get it. I understand.
All right. So I really thought it was great. I gave it like a 6.5 7 out of 10.
Mm.
For me, it still had a lot of the same same kind of dumb shit that DCU movies do. Like, it was like, oh, you had kind of a cool ending going on, and then you're gonna throw like another whole fight scene after it with not so great CGI. Thanks. That whole thing, I was like, while it was handled way better than Batman Superman, it definitely reminded me of that whole Doomsday fight. And the CGI, that was the worst the CGI was in the whole movie.
Yes.
But not saying there weren't some spotty things, but
it was better than certain other DCU
absolutely
movies.
Yeah.
I will give it that. They are getting better.
I will say for me, Dr. Fate and Cyclone stole the movie. I thought they were very, very fucking good. I like the fact that The Rock didn't do rock things. I like that Dr. Fate did a whole lot of Dr. Fate things. And I really hold on, trying to get my dogs to not be annoying. I also love the appearance of Jenko Janes again, which was great.
You were very obsessed with those Jenkos.
I was like, holy shit, he's wearing Jenkos. This is awesome. So like, but there was like some like the biggest annoying part for me was so they like they released him from the prison, which we all knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he's talking in the 5,000-year-old language that he has, and then all of a sudden, they take him. He gets hurt, he recovers, and all of a sudden he's speaking English the rest of the movie. And you're just like, when did you learn English, Rock? When? I don't remember.
That's the wisdom.
Did someone like feed you a book while you were sleeping? Like
he's
the wisdom of Set. Yes. I forgot.
There you go. Use that. That's what you have to assume. Okay. I also like The Rock stated too true to the character, which I'm very happy with. And I think he's learned being in Hollywood long enough. It's not the WWE anymore. You don't have to ad lib everything. If you stay true to what the general character is in the comics, which he did, you're going to end up, putting out a better product. I liked in general the whole JSA. I was very, cool with it. Hawkman did okay. Adam Smasher was definitely the Tom Holland of the movie, where it was he was in for the kind of comic relief, young, kind of teenagey type deal. Cool with that. Like you said, I was happy with Dr. Fate. And Pierce Brosnan actually gave a interview after this saying that there is a possibility of a Dr. Fate appearance down the line. And sweet. As for a hardcore Dr. Fate fan myself, I am all for it. Thank you. Yes, please. So even if we don't get Kent, I will be happy with Dr. Fate in general. Maybe they'll elaborate a little bit more. I think we could have seen a little bit of more Naboo, a little bit. But I like the general gist, although I have seen some people going, oh, it's just a Doctor Strange ripoff. For those who type that, you are a moron, because Dr. Fate has existed since 1940, which eclipses Doctor Strange by 2 decades?
If not 3, if close to 3. It's like 2.5. It's like 25 years.
So for those who don't know,
it didn't help though. It didn't help that Pierce Brosnan said that he was looking at Benjamin Cumberbatch as his inspiration of how to do Dr. Fate.
Well, they're both mystical guys. You're going to have similar movements, and I'm cool with that. That doesn't bother me. You're going to have similarities on that end. But like I said, I was happy with that. I didn't know a lot about Cyclone, so I kind of don't know everything on that end. But in general, like I said, 7 out of 10, I'm cool with that. Oh, there he is. What a she.
Her. This is Lucy.
Okay.
Hi, Lucy.
I saw the TikTok.
Say hello.
Hi. I saw the TikTok of all the puppies.
I know. My house is crazy.
But in general, I enjoyed it. It was a good ride. Like I said, it's definitely like a top 5 DC movie, which same. Minus Batman. I'm gonna always exclude the Batman movies because they're not DCEU from a part. It's a separate thing altogether. But I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was excellent. So
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That about wraps it up for this week. We will see everybody next week. And then the week after that, we will do a Wakanda Forever review. And then it's our 200th episode. Holy shit. Let me double check this. I want to make sure that that's not supposed to be on Thanksgiving.
Oh, we can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no. We're gonna skip Thanksgiving. And we're gonna have our 200th episode the first Thursday of December.
so
So
you don't want to do it mid food coma? We could just be like,
no. Because it
so
depends
full.
on where it depends on where I'm traveling for to become part of the food coma. So if I have to go to my in-laws, I'm gonna not want to drive all the way back like that. It's gonna be not fun.
No, just do it from your phone. You just be like the last time there, me and Tim would just be like sitting there going kind of like this, be like, so yeah, we didn't read any comics because we kind of ate too much food.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen. But I have a couple people I'm gonna see if they want to come back, a couple people that I know. So I may go and try to get a bunch of guys that started the Toddcast with us way back when it was just audio. So Chip and Ken, they were on it for a long time. Brian was on it for a long time. Sabine was on it for a while. So Bo and TJ, but I doubt either of them will want to be on it, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll let you know. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll check you again next week. And thank you for watching. My dogs are going to now eat everybody. All right.
See you guys.